This is the matchup that we wanted to see. Ninja and Hysteria going against King Richard and AimBotCalvin. Map 1, whoever wins this will move on to at least the losers semifinals to play off against Courage and Scissors, or maybe even Nick Merckx and Parallax if they beat Mitch Jones and Grenader Jake. But here we are dropping in, and looks like Hysteria and Ninja both have tilted. Or maybe even shifty. It might be a shifty drop, which is fine because we've seen them do that quite often in the past. Yeah. And then it looks like we have a salty drop for King Richard and AimBotCalvin.
Yeah, so King Richard and AimBotCalvin opting for that common phase strat that we're used to seeing, dropping the outskirts of Salty, pick up some pretty cheap loot, and then rotate into Salty and clean up as many kills as possible, and you end up with quite a pot of loot on your end. Meanwhile, Ninja Hysteria have loved that shifty drop over and over and over again. You see them go to that spot. You can rotate Tilted, you can rotate Greasy Grove, a lot of different options out of that shifty drop.
I've been surprised with how many players have been dropping shifty, too. In past weeks, we've seen that as one of those kind of areas that never gets a lot of action. Meanwhile, kind of today, we've seen a lot of gunfights a lot of teams landing, and I mean, Ninja and Hysteria almost actually got knocked out early. Remember, Hysteria made that big play to keep Ninja up and keep them into the game, which ended up winning them a big map.
You know, the thing about shifty is, at least you're almost guaranteed to have at least one team fight at that point, but the team that you're going to be going against typically isn't top tier. You're thinking a lot of the top tier players are going to be heading over to Salty. They like to hit up retail. They like to hit up those areas, maybe even tilted, that are hotly contested, because a lot of these, mind you, they're going against public players. They're going against public lobby players. They want to get into the action and get into the action fast. So shifty tends to be slow, and you get a lot of the slower teams, slower players that tend to go there. So you get in, you get a team kill, but you also end up kitted up as well as you push in. You have options. You can go to Greasy Grove if you want to go there. I know that was a popular spot last tournament, but you can also head over to Tilted. A lot of different options from this point to rotate through. But Salty, by far, at least for my sake, is my favorite area to go to. The amount of places that you can rotate to is superior.
Yeah, right here it's really interesting. No one drops to Shifty, so I think that's a kind of a loss off the bat for Ninja and Hysteria. But I don't know how many people are going to be at Salty. I think it was a little further down the bus path, so they're taking their time looting. I think you'll see a Salty or retail rotation come in soon here from King Richard and AimBotCalvin. We'll have that question answered. But I think at this point, it's been a while. It might be just the last team in Salty, so they might only be picking up at least one squad wipe here. We'll see.
Yeah, you know, FaZe, we've been watching them, and they love to hit up the outskirts just as King Richard and AimBotCalvin do, but they love to get into Salty a lot faster. Whereas King Richard and AimBotCalvin, they a little bit sluggish getting over there. They will get over there, though, with at least a couple of good things in their inventory, but not too much to really go crazy over. But still, though, with that being said, they got to get through this team, and they've got to start picking up their speed overall. You know, when they're playing against a team like Ninja and Hysteria, once they start heating up, especially when they get the tilted, you're going to be in a danger of getting a huge deficit added onto your score. So you've got to be careful. You've got to start getting to work. But with that being said, AimBotCalvin, guys, he's already dropped. He is completely eliminated, and King Richard last alive.
On the back.
Yeah, and AimBotCalvin right there, quite a misplay. Two opportunities. One, didn't have the awareness to remember that there's someone that was at that top tower and didn't put a wall behind him, and he got tagged up pretty hard by that individual. And then two, kind of trapped himself in the little square and was not able to edit himself out of that. Kind of just stood there and turtled for a little bit. Almost looked like he was trying to edit peak, but obviously
I was going to point that out. Yeah, he tried to do the edit. People call it the edit glitch, whatever you want to call it, and then it was just big gray box, can't see through it. Right? It's part of the latest update. So I'm curious to see kind of how people have to adapt now to a trick that used to get people a lot of information about where their opponents are. Now you got to rely on a lot more things like sound and kind of where they're going to be.
Yeah, because a lot of these things is second nature, peeking through your builds, or even double pumping through walls, which we've been seeing quite a few players trying to double pump through these structures. But of course, it's been nerfed by at least 50% when it comes to pumps and tax, as well as heavies, 25%. So it's not effective whatsoever. Yet we still see these players continually trying to do that, and they're not even breaking down one wall. So it just comes down to you just got to learn how to adjust and react. But like I said, muscle memory is going to take over. Old habits die hard. Exactly true. The old adage goes, and it is true in this case. But this is what I was talking about. Now, AimBotCalvin, he dies. King Richard, a little bit sluggish off the start. He's going to have at least 3 kills in his back pocket.
Hit you with the minigun. What a boss.
But Ninja and Hysteria at Tilted, they are probably going to pick up a lot of engagements here.
Yeah, Ninja absolutely loves that new minigun meta. He's going to get himself caught in a build war here. Actually, no, I think that's Hysteria building to his right. He's going to get a call out that someone dropped and looking to edit down and pick off a kill here. Ninja, one of the best editors and builders that in the game, as he's going to take out one off the bat here. Good plays from Ninja. I am just fixated at the top left of my screen. always marvel at Ninja's gameplay. He's such a phenomenal individual player.
And look like there's some opponents up on that that roof behind him too. So he actually was kind of risking there. He didn't build anything behind him, so there's a good chance he could have gotten shot in the back there. But obviously lucked out and got the kills, and it's just kind of continuing to loot. I'm a little surprised that there's still this much action in Tilted. It's pretty late now. We're only 38 players remaining, and we kind of saw King Richard and AimBotCalvin go to Salty late. Now we're kind of seeing a late hit at Tilted, but it seems to be working a lot better for Ninja and Hysteria now.
Yeah, it definitely does. But then again, where do you rotate after this, right? Loot Lake
Yep.
is going to be your area, whereas King Richard, he's going to be by that dusty divot, so he's got quite a few options to be rotating through. It looks like he's going over to Retail Row now at this point, so there's potential to find some more players over there. So with that being said, yeah, Tilted has a lot of engagements, but still, Ninja's only sitting at 3 kills. We know that King Richard or AimBotCalvin had, I think, 1 kill maybe, or maybe he was sitting. He had 0 kills. But
AimBotCalvin.
So either way, so we're sitting at 3 kills each for sowing. So obviously showing, yeah, he may be at Tilted, but there's not a lot of action there. These rotations are going to be extremely crucial. King Richard, though, in a big fight. Let's see if he can win it.
And he's also back against the Storm. If you look at the top right of his corner, you see the mini map. He looks like he's a considerable distance from the Storm right now. He's pretty low health, and there's 4 people on him. He does have a med kit, which is pretty helpful, and a campfire. But if I'm him, I don't know. You're going to take a lot of fall damage at the same time. I'm not sure if he's going to get out alive here.
And I don't agree with how he played this, too. He
goes down, yeah.
He had height advantage, was in a good position,
Yeah.
and they had to push into his Storm. He instead heads down and pushes, almost looks like a Gears goon.
Yeah, right, head down, smash A.
Watch a demo about it.
Yeah, he had to get, I don't know, maybe in his mind he had to get those kills fast because we couldn't see just how far he was from the Storm, right? So he could have been a considerable amount away from the Storm and kind of felt like he had to push those kills and maybe met up, get some resources. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I agree with you. It's a little too aggressive for being basically 4 people in front of him who have to move forward.
Now Ninja and Hysteria smell blood in the water, and they're going to go forth and get this extra credit, as we like to call it. Of course, they're only 1 frag down at this point, and a lot of potential for coming through big in this second round, especially to knock out King Rich and AimBotCalvin and push your way forward. This is a big opportunity for them, and they're going to definitely live it up, and we'll see how they're going to perform as we have a total of 30 frags still remaining. And look at that circle. It is massive, as now they are going to kind of just rotate through, maybe play that gatekeeper role. We'll see. But Loot Lake is just one of those eyesores that you just gotta navigate. You have to.
Extra credit. I like that. I was always the guy that finessed extra credit in high school. Ryan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you already know what it is. Every finesse opportunity. But no, honestly, if you're AimBotCalvin and King Richard, up until this point, I know there's still a lot of kills left on the map. But I mean, if you look at Hysteria, hasn't got a kill yet. Ninja, who's one of the most explosive players in Fortnite, only has 3 kills. So you're not sitting in the worst spot. Obviously, again, these are 2 players who could easily pop off 20 of the remaining 30 kills in the blink of an eye. But I mean, this isn't the worst case scenario, especially with how early AimBotCalvin went down.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we'll see how they are going to navigate this Loot Lake area, as they see shots are in fact going to be at the 60, but still all the way across the other way. We do have a tie game. I mean, it's pretty close, but like I said, the circle is in fact going to be collapsing down. What could we see from Ninja and Hysteria? It's going to be very slow coming at this point, but nobody home. Will anybody be rotating out of Pleasant?
And they have plenty of time here.
They do.
Ninja and Hysteria really embodying the slow and steady wins the race philosophy. And when they played Friday Fortnite, they like to play a lot more passive and really play for late game and get those kills. Because you're guaranteed, if you make it this far, at least 10 to 15 of these last kills. So right now, only 3 kills, but you can guarantee they're going to end up with at least 10 to 15.
Still plenty of action left in the map, that's for sure, especially for players of this caliber.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we're seeing Hysteria
The pub player
Ninja,
does finesse the down, though.
Yeah, he definitely finessed it. As we see him now coming in, he's going to try and get the revive. Hysteria trying himself to go for the rest. Now, this is a bold play, especially with the team pushing up forward. Now, of course, he is, in fact, going to get it off. Does he throw the half pot as Ninja's way? But that was a very bold push, and luckily for him, his opponents did not push forward, which –
Was that a full team?
That was a full team, and they didn't push forward whatsoever.
Interesting decision to go for the Ninja revive there, or the sneak revive, no pun intended. But it's going to be Ninja now that's just going to edit and try and stay alive. He's low on health, needs to be very cautious, going to take some fall damage, but it's going to be Hysteria who finally takes out the last member, I believe. Double Campfire comes in, and they are going to survive without even a scratch, as Ninja will have full health here momentarily.
One thing I've noticed from watching this team just throughout today is they actually seem to revive each other more than any other team I've watched in Friday Fortnite. A lot of times the teammates will see see the other people on the map, right? They'll see the opponents, and they'll kind of get scared and not necessarily go for the revive, which we've seen it pay dividends for Ninja and Hysteria so far in this tournament.
Now, do you think that's Ninja finessing and saying, hey, you better pick me up, or do you think it's just a teamwork?
I mean, I think it's just they both have an esports background, right? They both know teamwork really, really well. They both competed together, actually, on the same team. So I think that just they probably put a little different value on it than other people, right? A lot of these guys go for high kill gameplays all the time, head down, get kills. So I just think that they maybe put a little more emphasis on it than other teams.
Yeah, well said. I could totally see Ninja being that guy that goes down in Gears of War or
right?
Fortnite and says, you better revive me. You know, prospect-esque. And for good reason. Ninja is one of the best players in Fortnite right now, of course, as you check out his gameplay. Anytime that he is up, he is doing work and doing damages. He's now back to full health here. 18 people left in the game, so that's 16 kills. There's potential. Actually, one person's going to go down here, so make that 15. Sniper's looking cross map. Hysteria needs to be careful here, looking for a good opportunity. Not going to connect.
But this is still a bad spot for them to be in there. Getting in these long distance fights as we see players dropping left and right due to other opponents. As player 282 just went off and picked up that whole squad as they're going to be pushing forward. And Hysteria is not able to get in and get those shots off, unfortunately, because it's such a long distance. We see even Ninja himself trying to get those AR shots across the way, and the Storm. Look at the Storm. The Storm is to the back. They've got to run away from that. They know the players are going to be pushing in from Loot Lake, so they had the potential to pick them off maybe later, but at this point, they don't even. I was expecting a lot more kills coming from them.
And that right there is actually why that assault rifle is out of meta. Is that long range with an assault rifle, you're not going to do much. So a lot of people are just taking an SMG for close and medium range, silenced, and a scoped assault rifle. And thermal assault rifle is actually very heavily in the meta right now, which makes more sense. To have a scoped assault rifle right there,
The
you're
thermal
picking up at
shreds.
least. It really does.
Thermal shreds.
Especially in Tfue's hands. I've seen the man do ridiculous things. So with the scoped AR right there, you're getting at least 3 or 4 kills.
I do think, though, even with the regular ARs, with the first bullet accuracy update that was added, I mean, you see like guys like Tfu are like, they've already perfected the whole art of like tap shooting, right? Where it resets the bloom very quickly, and they have just obviously great shots themselves. So I think I kind of like the idea here. I mean, their opponents are already dead. Everything from here is kind of the extra credit we talked about. So to get a nice little knock, you don't really got to worry about finishing it because no one's going to really go for the revive in the Storm right now. Both these players have heals. I think it's a pretty decent play right here, especially because they got to go through the water, so they're basically in the mud.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Loot Lake. It's so hard to navigate through, especially if you catch yourself in the Storm. And Ninja's doing exactly what he should be doing. And I believe Hysteria has broke out, and he's going to be pushing ahead of the Storm to try and find those engagements in case maybe Ninja goes down in the Storm, which he doesn't, luckily. But that is, in fact, going to pay off. That's going to be 6 eliminations in his hands now as they're going to continue that lead, that extra credit as I talked about, as we see 12 more engagements still to remain as the circle is in fact collapsing down a considerable amount as we're now going to be over here at the soccer field, the old soccer field, and we'll see who is going to be home.
Looks like it's closing over Snobby. It's a pretty unorthodox closing.
A little bit different here. Is Ninja flirting with the Storm a little bit. Doesn't have any heals either, so he's going to be tagged up quite.
And that's all he has is the campfire.
And exactly. And the campfire is basically you're dead in water because you can't move. So it's interestingly, there it is. Ninja's going to get knocked. So was it worth it? He's going to.
I don't think there's a med kit right there.
I know. Oh, that is disappointing.
So he was going for the campfire to stay alive, med kit to try and clutch up. That's crazy.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, 2 kills picked up. I think it's worth it. You now have Hysteria alive in a 1 versus 11. I think he can pick up at least 4 or 5 kills here. For those 2 kills, assuming Hysteria can clutch up, I think that's worth it.
Well, Hysteria's got to battle this hill, and I believe there's going to be players on top of it. I know we saw a considerable amount of building up here, but that could have been prior builds overall, unless there's some people just randomly camping inside this house, which I highly doubt. But him having this high ground is going to be hugely beneficial, as yes, there is in fact going to be a player ahead. And you would expect with King Richard AimBotCalvin dropping so early that the score difference would be monumental, but it's not. It's only at 5 at this point. Of course, though, Hysteria still has engagements remaining, and it looks like he's going to put them to good use and be able to pick them all up. But still, though, it's not going to be as much of a lead as I thought we were going to have going into game number 2. But yeah, Hysteria, he's in the Storm. He's on top of this hill, and he's just going to rain bullets down on the opponents.
So some grenades are coming in here. So well played by Hysteria right there. Rather than sitting around where he killed the first guy, he's actually going to rotate, and he's going to know that everyone's going to expect him to be by that downed opponent. So he said he rotates wide right and gets a good first shot on this Zoe here. And, by the way, also has himself a nice height advantage.
Definitely does. Getting that high ground is so incredibly important. Knows there's a player
2 teams
just behind him.
Other guy was shooting at the Zoe character.
So that's the thing. This hill, especially with the circle collapse now, like you said, was going to be very awkward. All these teams are wanting to get that high ground, so they're all pushing this hill to try and get that advantage to rain down bullets. So I believe it could be at least 2 teams or a couple teams even pushing them.
I'll say one of those guys down low finessed one of his kills, and I think that guy's a solo.
Absolutely.
No, you're spot on, Ryan. I think it is 2 teams right here. Maybe even 3 is that Zoe and that Omega might be fighting as well. If I'm Hysteria, though, I've gotten some good tags. I'm doing exactly this. I'm pushing for these kills because they're weak. They're going to be trying to met up or shield up here. So Hysteria now does not have any explosives, though, which is kind of costly in this exact scenario. That C4 would be perfect right now if he had it.
He's got a lot of minis, though, too, which is really helpful kind of, mid-fight and everything. And I mean, if I'm him, like, your teammate's dead already. Every kill matters. He's got to be a little more aggressive before it looks like if we have 9 players left, could be 2 teams of 4 before they kind of start taking each other out. I think he's got to be a little more aggressive on him.
Yeah, and it really wouldn't hurt him to be more aggressive at this point because they know they're going to be going into game 2 with at least a minor lead at this point of, about 6 kills total at this point unless he picks up more. So being aggressive here wouldn't hurt, but then again, also not being aggressive doesn't hurt either because he can kind of just chill out in the back and just pick up some last remaining kills. Great use of the bounce trap to come up, pick him off with the shotgun. And you talk about these bounce traps being added, and, man, I got to tell you, they were a great addition. I thought impulses were extremely valuable, but these bouncer traps have become even more valuable so as we see so many different uses.
He's going to spot that Zoe, actually. I thought that Zoe was taken out by the Omega, but instead it was 3 different teams, Ryan. You're spot on here. So Hysteria now playing this so smart, patient, and just using his height advantage to his advantage as he's going to be able to get some good kills here. 1 on the Omega and 2 on the Zoe momentarily.
And he still has 1 more bounce pad, too. We see what he's been able to do with it so far.
There it is.
Another solo kill. Making the best of the situation for sure with Ninja going down.
Well, to overtaking his hill was the big moment for him, and what a shot coming in. Hysteria has been landing these shots left and right all night tonight, proving himself to be a very valiant player when it comes to overall snipes. And will he use this bouncer trap to kind of push the opponents to see the building is in fact going to be going down, dropping down. Great use. And going right back up once again aggressively for this push, but his mats are in fact growing thin. As are the engagements. And a player from behind, I believe this is a second team or at least maybe even a solo on another team. So he's pinched.
So if I'm Hysteria right now, I'm trying to disengage in any way I can. He's going to try and get some health back, disengages from that fight, gets his shields, and let these 2 teams fight for at least a little bit. You want to try and bounce pad out of there if you can, but a tough situation nonetheless to be in if you're Hysteria. There it is. Some good shots put in. I'm absolutely loving this play right now from Hysteria. He's going to go and get high ground now. When there's 2 teams that you're fighting against, there's really no reason to try and head down and put yourself in a risky position. Get height advantage and really just tag those people up and try and clean up kills, especially in 1v2, 1v3s. Perfect gameplay here from Hysteria as there's 7 people left, so 6 others. It's 2 teams guaranteed. 1 person gets eliminated here, so at least 1 or 2 teams left.
He's doing a great job staying alive, too.
Oh, he's doing a great job just working these teams, like kind of juking them out, getting the high ground, pushing down, editing through.
It's being annoying, really.
It is, but I mean, he's doing exactly what he needs to do at this point. You just want to be as
annoying as possible.
And the thing is everybody just keeps pushing him. Like, they're just running straight into him. Now, without that being said, though, these guys aren't bad players that he's going against. I mean, he's having to build up considerably well, but look at his defensive builds, too.
He gets the kill for that, by the way. That guy knocked himself out. So he does get the kill if you eliminate someone who downed themselves. So heads up play by Hysteria to pick that one up.
3 engagements still remaining. And
he's just playing ring around the rosy at this point. This is perfect play, honestly. He's doing everything to fluster the opponents and for them to push him, and he's always in the right situation with the high ground, making great use of the bounce pads.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching Halo 3 because Halo 3, the benefit and the advantage of staying alive and valuing your life, sometimes it's better to have less deaths than more kills, and that's exactly how Hysteria is playing right now. Just staying alive, valuing his life, and it's really, really different than you see most Fortnite pro players play.
I like his use of the bounce pads to kind of reset. Have you noticed that? It's like the 3rd time where he's used a bounce pad to jump off of the big set of builds to kind of survey the levels and then kind of reset his build position. As you see, that does it again. He gets another kill.
And he can also use it, too, to navigate down this hill a lot faster. It looks like he might opt out to do so. But there's 2 players remaining, and he knows they're probably going to be most likely moved forward to the circle overall. So he's got to be careful. There's a lot of buildings down here these opponents can, in fact, be hanging out at. But, of course, though, even with that being said, even if he goes down at this point, he's still okay because he's managed, make the score 15 or 16 now to 4. So he's looking incredibly well going into the 2nd game. And maybe he spots these players straight ahead with the sniper. Not going to take the shot, still moving forward, and he will have circle advantage now.
And, this goes to make the point that we made earlier about Ninja getting those 2 kills and dying, being even more worth it because Hysteria has cleaned up at least 80% of these kills since Ninja has died. So perfectly played right now by Ninja Hysteria to try and get themselves as big of a lead as possible. They're going to need it against AimBotCalvin and King Richard, a very formidable team going into game 2.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go down that early next time, right? So this game right now, I mean, Hysteria's been obviously my MVP of this round. He's stayed alive, gotten a ton of kills, and really extended the lead, which looked a little more bleak after Ninja went down, but just done a great job giving them position to really win this match. And obviously, AimBotCalvin and King Richard probably aren't going to go down as early in the same way Ninja probably won't either, though.
And I think they had, 3 kills for AimBotCalvin? 4 kills total. So I don't know where Ninja's at. Ninja's at least at 7. So I think they have a pretty decent lead here and hoping to make it 2
It
more
was 15-4 last time I saw it, but I believe he got a couple more kills since then. 16-4. So it's currently 16-4. So I mean, you talk about a lead. That is a good size lead going into it. I was thinking maybe a 5-kill lead, and not too bad, but you're talking about 16-4. And maybe even more coming in as he gets the knock. What composure. You're talking about an RPG coming straight at your face, still maintains composure, stays there to get the shot off, knowing he's going to be okay, and goes for the knock, and wisely so. Even if he doesn't pick up this last player, he's still going to come in with a 17-4 lead into the second game. But, of course, this last player is just going to be dipping around here. And
he actually tagged him up earlier. I think it was the Omega, I believe. He's going to launch C4 at nothing. The Omega was actually tagged up a little bit for, I believe, 60 blue shields. So he's going to have a good advantage in this one and gets height advantage. That's going to be all she wrote. Hysteria.
Wow, 17-4.
A perfect end game right there.
That was amazing.
Stay alive.
18-4.
Value his life. If you're an aspiring Fortnite player, take notes of what you just saw.
It felt like it was just 4-4 next thing you know, right? And then Hysteria hits that top of that hill and just mows everyone down. And here we are now, 14-kill lead coming to map 2.
Yeah.
We were just talking about actually isn't that bad. They both died early. And
now it's terrible.
Right? Yeah, they're only down a few kills. Like this is really manageable still for game 2. Like not so much anymore. Like this is looking bad.
So now it's 14. Now it's 14 kill lead going into the second game. Now we got to start talking about strategy. King Richard, AimBotCalvin, where do they land? Do they go tilted? Do they start landing with Ninja and Hysteria maybe to kind of finesse some of those skills as we see them coming in? What are you thinking overall the strategy is going to be?
I think they should both go to tilted. I feel like almost every time, of course, I think Ninja and HD did it once. Almost every time we see a split where one guy goes tilted and one guy goes somewhere else, never really seems to work that well.
Right.
I think if they both go tilted, and obviously little RNG comes into play, got to get a good weapon. Hopefully you get a Scar or a blue tack or something, right? Where you get a lot of quick kills and then make a quick rotation. I think that's kind of got to be their play because you already know that Ninja and Hysteria, they're going to probably land somewhere less populated, but they're not going to their gas pedal's not going to stop being down, right? They're going to still keep going. They're going to still keep killing. So that would be what I would do personally, but
yeah, I love that call. I think that's spot on, and I agree. Especially in solo squads, you go to tilted by yourself, anything can happen. You go to salty by yourself. A team of 4 can just be spraying 4 miniguns at you, and there's nothing you can do. Literally nothing. So I completely agree with that call. I think they need to play for early game for sure because you can't try and outlast Ninja and Hysteria, especially when you're down 14 kills. You gotta play for early game. You gotta get at least 10 kills within the first 2-3 minutes of the game.
We talk about options. Look at that route, the bus route, literally dead center of the map, and it's
far.
It's far, but then again, I mean, if you look at it, it's still doable. Still doable, of course. A lot of players will probably still land there, but actually, yeah, they're kind of off the beaten path, aren't they?
Okay, they faked the mansion mark,
so
and then went retail.
They're going to be going retail side. It looks like they might be able to hit residential, but I think no.
And it looks like Ninja and Hysteria are going to hit containers or crates and look to finesse some quick loot.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine. They absolutely need to do that. And it looks like, they are in fact going to be going residential side. Don't disagree with this. And so there's going to be at least one chest over, which actually I didn't know there was a chest just outside of there. So it could be a new little area I might be hitting up. I usually hit up the house that King Richard is at least, or excuse me, AimBotCalvin's at, or to the left of it. That one house, 3-story house, it usually has at least 2 chests in there, but also a couple of different weapons. But already hot off the start, AimBotCalvin comes in and gets an easy 2-piece. To get 2 eliminations. Of course, King Richard on your screen too, joining him. We'll see if he'll be able to pick up some kills himself.
I think the key for King Richard and AimBotCalvin here, obviously, they have a huge deficit to make up. They're going to have to make big plays no matter what. But I think the key to their success is going to be their rotations. They cannot stick around this area too long. They got to kind of get the quick kills, do a quick survey at best. Maybe if you don't see anyone that's really noticeable, you got to just move. You're down so much coming into this. Obviously, your opponent's going to keep getting kills. We saw Hysteria kill a kid off the bat in crates, right? Like no one expected there to be anyone there. But
same with Ninja. Ninja got 2. So pretty lucky for Ninja and Hysteria that
right. So I mean,
find some kills early on.
We see they see a team right here. I think you got to kill that team, do a quick survey, and then be on your way to the next spot on the map.
Which is Dusty, in my opinion, especially given the fact that the bus came from the east side of the map.
Yeah, Dusty. If they reach Dusty beforehand, especially coming in with some kills already, it's going to be a huge advantage on their part. But as I say, that AimBotCalvin gets a little bit close there, kind of scaring me a little bit as he was, in fact, taking major damage. But with that being said, they are currently sitting at 4 kills, but came in 14 frags down, and looks like they're only 13 frags down at this point. Still plenty of engagements remaining. But like you said, follow up Ninja and Hysteria. If they make it over to Dusty before King Richard and AimBotCalvin, that could be a huge play on their part to kind of start taking away those frags that could be possible in the future.
And Ninja has the thermal rifle too, which you're just talking about how powerful that could be and how much it shreds, and it shreds from a distance too. So if you're, imagine King Richard and AimBotCalvin go into Dusty and start to try and fight everyone, and Ninja just sits behind him pecking people with the thermal rifle, he can probably steal a lot of those kills.
That's spot on. I mean, Dusty right now, you still have all of Salty up for grabs, at least the winning team from Salty, and Tomato Town / Risky Reels area. So that's a huge opportunity. You got to get there quick. And it looks like Ninja and Hysteria recognize it. They're working that direction. They're obviously taking their time and looting up a little bit, but a little bit of static
King Richard.
here over in Retail Row is, King Richard's going to get tagged up.
Close call.
And they're going to have to waste time with another medkits. I think King Richard medkits and AimBotCalvin flies at Dusty is the right decision right now because you're still behind by so much in kills.
Yeah, it seems like doing a medkit's 10 seconds, right? It doesn't seem like that much, but in the grand scheme of things, if you're 10 seconds off rotation here, 10 seconds off rotation there, like those things add up. And so those 10 seconds, 3 more kills can happen on the map within those 10 seconds, right? So every second seems like in Fortnite matters, which is funny because BR games, seem to last a lot longer than traditional games, but every second really does matter, especially in this format where, your scoring is based on just your kills.
Yeah. Well, and not to mention, too, it messes up your pacing. So I think that's the biggest thing is, because this rotation sort of already been underway. And if you have to stop and medkit up, I mean, it just knocks you off overall. Of course, everybody else who you potentially could have been coming up on their back is going to be moving forward themselves. So you're constantly playing this catch-up game. But with that being said, they are, in fact, going to be just outside of the circle. And they are making their way over towards Dusty, which they might, in fact, beat Ninja and Hysteria. As I say that, they are, in fact, going to be just right by it. But they're just on the outside of it. But we do have a bracket update coming to you guys. And because we're going to see Mitch Jones and Grenader Jake advance over Nick Merckx. Wow, we did not see that coming. But, hey, Mitch Jones, Grenader Jake are going to be playing the winners of this match here. Talk about a surprise.
They'll play against Courage.
They'll play against Courage. Excuse me, they'll play against Courage, which
I believe the
winner
would play.
The winner of that one would play against these guys.
That's an upset in my eyes. For sure.
It's definitely an upset. Yeah, did not see that happening.
Especially after Parallax and Nick Merckx beat TSM.
Right?
Right. Great victory. You're thinking they're riding hot and heavy, but instead.
But then again, is it really surprising? Let's think about it. Nick Merckx loves his tilted drop, so of course anything can happen there. It's very volatile.
For sure.
He goes tilted, he drops early, and unfortunately that's it.
Yep, that's a great point. So the Dusty rotation is going to come through early for Ninja and Hysteria, and look at this. Easy kills for Ninja and Hysteria because they did get there first. They have a huge advantage. Calvin's going to be there, but not in a position to pick up any kills, as Ninja and Hysteria are going to do a great job on a rotation against a team of default skins, and that's going to be 3 more kills for Hysteria in this one.
And as the great franchise says, that can't happen. If you're AimBotCalvin and King Richard, you cannot let Ninja and Hysteria out-rotate you to that spot. I'm sorry, but you're down 14 kills. I know they had to pop a medkit and everything. You cannot be out-rotated when you have the huge disadvantage. So
I think that they had no urgency. I think as soon as you see Ninja and Hysteria drop crates, their next move is Dusty.
Yep.
You need to basically say, hey, it's a race to Dusty. You call that out from the get-go. I think shot calling is a little bit of a opportunity right now for King Richard and AimBotCalvin.
Not to mention, honestly, I know you talked about it at the beginning about splitting up, maybe not the right thing, but I think a split at this point would have been a very beneficial thing on their part. Yes, I believe. You risk they go down, but overall, you got to risk it for the biscuit, right? You got to go for it. And
I think you should have double hit tilted.
And double hitting tilted would have been good too. It was on the path. It was a little bit late, as Fallout mentioned, but it was definitely on the path, and a lot of players probably would have went there. The reason why they went retail, though, obviously, it was fresh off the jump. It was right there, but they didn't come out with as many kills as they thought they would have.
Exactly. I thought there'd be a lot more static in retail, which there's a decent amount, but again, rotation is what made the key difference here. Is Calvin's going to get that knock. One person still one shot at the top of that mountain that Calvin tagged up earlier. I think that guy is still alive, and guess what? It's going to be he's going to pick up the kills. Hysteria and Ninja, though, rotating over, looking to steal some
more
kills
now. Coming in.
And now I wonder, do they continue to just mirror and shadow, or do they continue to just push for kills on their own? I think either strategy works in this situation.
I think Ninja can sit there with a thermal rifle and just ruin their day, honestly. With how accurate he is, with how strong that weapon is, and the range it has, I mean, I don't know, they're up, 16 kills now, or maybe even more, actually, since Hysteria just got 2 kills. I think they're up 16 or 17. I mean, there's only 22 left on the map. Basically, King Richard and AimBotCalvin have to effectively kill like 85% of the rest of the map. So, I don't know. This isn't looking too good for the side of, Calvin and King Richard.
And they're up 16 kills. 16 kills right now. And
with 21 remaining.
With 21 still remaining, it's looking very bleak for the future of King Richard and AimBotCalvin, as they might, in fact, be moving out of this tournament. And Ninja and Hysteria, though, a very formidable opponent, could be moving on in this tournament. And that whole final, that phase versus Ninja and Hysteria could, in fact, come to fruition here, as we'll see. As we know, Ninja and Hysteria got 4th last time. They're hungry for the first-place victory. But still, with that being said, a lot of ifs in this match still remaining, as King Richard and AimBotCalvin, they're not out, but the backs are against the wall.
Are we in the round of 6 right now?
Yep.
So this would be another,
this is round of 6.
Yeah. Right, so this is all, they're all top 6 playing for top 4, correct? So this would be another top 6 placing for King Richard and AimBotCalvin. I mean, like, let's not make let's make sure we give them credit where credit's due. They've been one of our most consistent teams throughout all of Friday Fortnite, always showing up in the top 6. So I mean, they're still here. You know, maybe next week they kind of break through and kind of break the curse they got going. But I mean, all the credit to them. They've been very, very consistent. We've seen a lot of teams that have even won tournaments go out in the first round the next week, right? So they're always in the mix. They're always competitive, and obviously, they're playing quite a formidable opponent in the round of 6.
No, exactly.
Yeah. And we talk about it quite often. And, there's a lot of, ands, if, buts about it. But King Rich and AimBotCalvin, they both died relatively early with, about 30-something engagements still remaining in that second game. And, of course, Hysteria played incredibly well towards that last. But you look at the second game, right? Even though it's been a bit of a slower start for King Rich and AimBotCalvin, they're still sitting right now with that knock. They're only one frag behind Ninja and Hysteria. So you can only imagine if they would have stayed up in that first game what the score could have been. We could have been talking about now mere kills getting down to the last frags. But, of course, with that being said, that's not the case. Hysteria played it extremely well. But as I say that, Hysteria does, in fact, drop. And he's going to be over by Shifty, which means we are not going to see a res. Ninja now is in a 1v2.
Yeah, I mean, short of the Call of Duty nuke putting in by, AimBotCalvin and King Richard, I don't think there's any way they can win this.
Just straight to the point.
25 kill streak, they need the Moab or whatever it's called. Like that.
Exactly.
This is looking like it's over, even with Hysteria going down.
Yeah, the missile has been beeping over by the super hero.
Yeah, they might have to go press the button on the beeping missile that launches tomorrow.
Yeah, which, by the way, I'm excited about that. If you guys don't know in the chat, there is going to be a missile launch tomorrow, and it's a one-time thing. You have to be in a game in order to see it. And it's going to be at, I believe it's 1:30 Eastern time.
They confirmed?
Yeah, they actually confirmed.
I think it's 10:30 Pacific, so yeah, 1:30 Eastern.
1:30 Eastern, yeah. So you guys got to go see that. So we have to, and there was a Reddit post about this. We have to make an official pact that there's no killing. There's no killing on that match because everybody's going to want to go and watch that.
Until some guy pulls up with
but
C4.
That guy's going to with C4 or a minigun and just start mowing everybody down. It's going to happen, trust me. But I don't know.
You see little people flying.
Look at how accurate Ninja is.
Insane.
Give me 1/10 that accuracy, and I can die happy. It's incredible.
Ain't that the truth here? I'm watching King Richard now flying across Loot Lake with some mats, doing everything he can right now to try and make this dream come true. But Ninja is doing everything he can, of course, to pick up at least 1 or 2 kills. And they should be able to wrap it up here as Ninja looking to secure yet another top 4 finish in this one.
And who would be there on the bracket? Who would be Ninja's opponent for the next match?
Either Courage,
the Courage Scissors,
or
Mitch
Jones and Grenadier Jake.
Okay. Yep. Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting.
I was looking at Twitter between the matches when Landon was on, and I saw Courage raging about, I guess, something happened to him during the phase match that he was saying, like, apparently the team of no skins pulled up, but they were just like gods. And so he just said he got super, super unlucky. His last 7 matches had no issues in the beginning, but then, of course, against FaZe, they play against the team of no skin gods. And so he was talking about how tilted he was, but I mean, I thought he was out of the tournament, but he's still in there killing it.
Oh, no, yeah, he's still in it. I mean, he's still in it to win it. I mean, we'll see if he'll be able to pull it through. But you can imagine the speech that he's going to be giving if he has to go against Ninja and Hysteria. It's going to be monumental of sorts, and I'm sure it's going to be on YouTube later. Yeah,
Courage definitely has one of the most entertaining streams out there right now. He has, obviously, I'm a little biased towards CN in the third. I think CN in the third is the most entertaining human being on the planet. But Courage has had a very, very entertaining stream, and we talk about really good at the game. So it's no surprise to me that they're getting this far.
Crazy how much he's improved over the past couple of.
It is.
Oh, he's like really good. It's really I really enjoy watching him.
Oh yeah. All she wrote as
the dream is dead.
King Richard couldn't pick up I think 2 kills right there. Ninja in the build war at the top left of your screen right now. Ninja doing what Ninja does best.
A little flexing.
Great shots right there on that default skin. And a lot of people left. I think that is going to be all she wrote.
Well, my man King Richard, once again, great performance, but not able to come through in the end. AimBotCalvin and King Richard, though, they played well, like you said, top 6. They have done so consistently well throughout this Friday Fortnite, so got to give it to him. He played really well, and
for sure,
honestly, I'm impressed overall, and I hope to see them moving forward. I hope to see. Still, we're waiting on King Richard, team captain of Envy, to kind of pick someone up. We still don't know who's going to be on the Team Envy team.
Yeah,
as we're still waiting. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. Also,
people are getting picked up left and right. You better hurry up, Envy. If you're envious, you at least get a duo for them.
There's a lot of organization.